Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another Thursday night of the Truckers Channel. Got a couple things we want to go over real quick before we get into our guest. We will welcome Hunter Palmer tonight. Starting off with Newsom got caught red-handed. In case you haven't looked at the United States Department of Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy exposes California illegally issuing 17,000 commercial driver's license and gets them canceled. Now, that has nothing to do with the current lawsuit that's being enforced right now by another driver, where eventually 100 and more than 190,000 can be actually canceled out as well. Why they're fighting for this, I have no idea. I look at it this way: if you're not legal in the United States, you got no reason to be behind an 18-wheeler. With that being said, I'm going to welcome Hunter Palmer to the show. Hunter, would you please tell our listeners exactly what it is you do?
Yeah, I own an insurance agency, my wife and I, in Decatur, Texas. And what we do is we specialize in income protection for drivers. And many of you have probably seen some of our ads floating around on Facebook and Instagram. We've been running ads for, I guess, about 5 or 6 years now. We used to run on TikTok, but haven't done that in a while. But I used to be a driver. I drove for about 11 or 12 years and just kind of got tired of it. Worked a lot of oil field stuff and was gone a lot. Was gone about 3 weeks at a time, and I just got to a point where I was just done and looking for something else. And my brother-in-law actually introduced me to the insurance world and got into that, and just got into doing for seniors, like burial plans and stuff. And it wasn't for me. It wasn't what I enjoyed. It wasn't what I liked. And in the back of my mind, I just kept thinking, like, I know so much about the trucking industry and how poor the benefits are in the trucking industry. And I'm like, we've got to figure out how to help drivers. How first of all, how can we market to the drivers? How can we broadcast ourselves, nationwide? So that took some really like a little research and development team, and trying a bunch of stuff and different ads and different ad copy and things like that. And it just clicked, and we kind of found how to reach a lot of people and help a lot of people. And we help drivers every single day, mainly with income protection. And what income protection is, a package we put together to make sure that drivers have access to money no matter what. That's if you're in a wreck, if you're injured, if you come down with some sort of illness, disease, cancer, anything like that. You want to make sure you're getting paid. And we also do health insurance as well. Health insurance it's kind of a tricky thing for drivers. A lot of drivers, they've heard of marketplace insurance, they've heard of Obamacare, things like that. And the problem with that is it doesn't follow you outside your state lines. So once you leave the state, it's almost like you have no insurance coverage. So we have some options for folks that are driving nationwide. That way, if anything happens, anything like that, we have an option to be able.
Okay, we got something going on here. I'm not for sure what. I don't know who's fading in or out. I'm going to go ahead and drop you and let you come back in, Hunter.
Okay.
Oh, there, I heard you. Okay, we're good. So, what kind of a basic health care program could you put together, and maybe to give an estimate on the premiums?
I lost you. You cut out on me there for a second.
I said, what kind of a health insurance program could you basically put together, and what, if anything, an idea of what the premiums would be?
Yeah, as far as health insurance goes, I mean, there's so many different options. I mean, we do private health, major medical plans. They can be kind of expensive. That's a nationwide PPO that's going to follow you wherever you go. Just kind of a spitball number here for, that type of private health. You're probably looking at, I don't know, 600 bucks a month. That's probably the and like I said, we do have marketplace plans that we help people enroll in. Those are more for probably your local drivers, local families. Some of those can go all the way down to $0 premiums. The next step up would probably be our limited plans. So what limited plans are, they're not exactly major medical, but you can use it in any hospital, any doctor's office. It doesn't matter where you go or where you're at. It's essentially kind of like we call it an indemnity plan. It's kind of like a reimbursement. So let's say you go to the hospital or you go to the doctor. What you do is have them bill you. Once they bill you, we can help you file the claim, and then we'll send you the money. We'll send you a check in the mail, and then you can, pay the doctor with that, pay the hospital, whatever you need to do. That way, you're not essentially coming out of pocket. You're just having them bill you, and then we're filing the claim for you. Those plans, depending on your age, I mean, anywhere between 150 to probably 300 bucks. That's probably a good middle of the road option there. And then we have some short-term plans. The short-term plans are also PPO plans, but they're kind of strange. They're not meant to be on for a long time. They're kind of meant to fill a gap. Like if you're getting off of Cobra or something like that, let's say you quit your job or you got fired or something like that, you got laid off and you're on Cobra. Cobra a lot of times is really expensive, so you can get on a short-term plan they do it in 3-month increments. Here in Texas, you can only stay on it for 12 months, and then you got to switch to another short-term plan with another company. So those are things that we can do. Some states, they're doing a 3-year. They're considering short-term a 3-year plan, and then you got to switch to a different company. So like I said, there's several different options, and that one right there, the short-term plan, for an individual, I mean, you're probably looking at, probably 400 bucks a month. So private health is going to be more on your expensive side, the nationwide PPO that I was talking about first, and then all the way down to your limited plans, which are like the reimbursements. Those are nationwide. And then the marketplace plans, which only cover you inside your state lines.
Right. Okay. So you were talking more about we were talking a little bit into more of you can have a insurance program, but then if something happened with your truck and you needed that money, how would we be able to obtain with it?
Yeah, so that's part of the income protection plan. What we do there is we put a package together for you, and a lot of people get scared when I say this, but we start it. Typically, if you're healthy enough, we'll start it with an IUL. A lot of people, there's ads out there with people talking about IULs and, setting you up for retirement and things like that. And IUL, honestly, is not going to set you up for retirement. It's a good supplement for your retirement. I would never tell anybody that we can build an IUL good enough that you can solely retire on that IUL income. I mean, you would have to be young when you started it and putting thousands of dollars a month into it to be able to fund it for an actual retirement. So a lot of people use it for a supplement. And the way the IUL works is it's a life insurance policy, but it also has living benefits. So has critical, chronic, and terminal illness riders on it. That's like if you have anything like a stroke, heart attack, cancer, anything like that, what they're going to do is they're going to advance the death benefit. So just for round numbers, let's say you have a $100,000 death benefit. Depending on what's going on, if you're 100% terminal and the doctor says that, you probably only have about 12 months to live, they'll actually give you the whole entire death benefit up front. That way you can do whatever you need to do with it. We actually had an agent that worked with us. She had some kind of brain tumor, and nobody in the United States would work on her, and the doctor deemed her terminal. So she got a payout of like $250,000. So she went to like India or something like that. She found some doctor in India that would take a chance on her, and that's been, I don't know, 6, 7 years ago. She's still alive. So that money is not just, you know, if you die, you could use it for special research or special experimental programs for health or cancer or whatever. But also it comes with a cash value aspect, and that's where a lot of people kind of get hung up on the whole retirement thing. And you'll hear a lot of agents, maybe some ads talking about we can get you, 8, 9, up to 10%. That's stretching it pretty far. Could you get 10%? Maybe, but the chances of it happening is pretty slim. So I never tell anybody, we can grow your money at 10%. I always use an average of 5.5. And that way, if it does come back higher, you have a good year and it comes back 7.5, 8%, I don't look crazy. But if I tell you you're going to get 10% and it comes back at 4, then you're going to hate me. So that cash value aspect is it's kind of like a savings account, but like I said, on average, it grows at about 5.5%, and it's a part of that policy. So you put into the policy for a couple years before, it's nice and usable. But later on down the road, let's say, you've been overfunding this thing and, you've got some money built up in it. 5 years down the road, let's say you lose an engine, or you got to have an end frame, you got to have a transmission rebuilt or something. If you have that money sitting in that policy, you can pull it out and you can either pay it back or you can keep it. If you keep it, the policy is now not going to last you the rest of your life. It's probably going to knock several years off of it. But if you pay it back and use it kind of like your own bank, then, that policy will last you the rest of your life, and you can borrow from it and then return the money, borrow from it, return the money. The cool thing about this is, and this is kind of getting into the weeds on the investment side of it, is it's a compounding interest. So let's say you have $20,000 in your cash account and you take $15,000 out of it to purchase something. Well, your account is still growing interest on $20,000. Even though you pulled it out, they're still giving you interest for the $20,000 because they have intentions of you paying it back. So that's what people do with the compounding interest, is they may take that $15,000, invest it into something else, where they're making a few percent, but they're also making, 5.5% on this side on the same money, which is kind of, people don't understand it, but it's possible, to compound interest on the same dollar. So
see, now that's something I would be interested in, just for the fact, though, and I've got that if I ever need it.
yeah,
I mean, I don't need it right away, but I would need it, something like that. That'd be something I'd be interested in, just for the fact I've got a little bit of a nest egg buildup. So what does it usually take to get something like that started?
Man, honestly, it's super easy, because all we deal with is drivers all day long. And we realize, I mean, you're in Minnesota. I mean, you probably don't have time to just shut down and go to a doctor and go back home, do a medical exam and all that stuff. We don't do any of that. All the carriers that we work with, they're all driver friendly. And what that means is we're not ever going to have to send you to a doctor. All we do is we go through a series of health questions. We submit that application to the insurance company. And honestly, just based off of your social, every time you go to the doctor, they put that in your file, and all your medical history is tied to your social. So once you give them the consent to run a medical background on you, they can see everything. They can see the medications you've been on, if you've had any surgeries or anything like that. And then based off of the questions we asked or answered on the application, they'll say yes, no, or maybe. We might have some issues where they see something in your background and then they have a question about it. So we may have to answer one or two more questions before we get a full approval. But most of the time, we can get you an approval either same day or possibly next day, and your insurance will be effective as soon as it's approved. So I've had a few people that wanted term insurance as cheap as they could get it, and we done medical exams and all that, and it took about 2 months I think to get it all approved. So I don't like doing that, jumping through hoops and waiting on us and running exams on you. We try everything in our power to keep it simplified and get you approved, typically same day.
Okay. So I guess one of the now you're not doing anything with auto or truck insurance, correct?
You cut out on me again. What was that?
I said you don't do it's the Wi-Fi here at the truck stop. You don't do anything with auto or truck insurance right now, do you?
We do commercial trucking insurance. We don't do auto and home, but anything trucking, we do it.
Okay. So that means you take care of the limited liability, the cargo insurance requirement too.
Absolutely, yep.
That's a big thing with drivers is the cargo insurance. And I mean, of course, they're going to shop around for the cheapest one they can get too, if you're an independent anyway. I guess another question I would have to ask is if somebody was to apply for you, what would be the best way to go?
To apply for coverage?
Yeah, if somebody was to get in touch with you.
I mean, the best way to get in touch with me is I give you my office phone number. That's 940-539-9497. That'd be best way to get in touch with us, and we can take care of you from there.
Okay, now who exactly are you affiliated with?
I'm 100% independent, so I'm contracted with about 50 different insurance carriers. They're not all life insurance carriers. Some are health, some are ancillary carriers. We also do some Medicare. So drivers turning 65 or already 65, we help drivers with Medicare as well.
Okay. And now, how long have you exactly been an insurance agent now?
I have been an insurance agent this would be my 7th year. My wife, she's got a little more tenure than I do. She used to own a farmer's insurance agency, and she kind of ran that. I never even was licensed when she was doing that. I was still working out in the oil field, and I wanted nothing to do with insurance at the time.
Well, oil fields, you can make some good money.
Yeah, when it's up.
Yeah, that's the key. Just like everything else, as long as it's up. Because the rates out here today aren't the greatest, and a lot of people are letting a lot of things go. And, you have to sit and you have to look at what's going to be the best for you and your family. Even if you just get it for yourself, at least you've got some kind of a backup.
Yeah.
So we're going to kind of wind this up here. What would be your website address if they were going to try to look you up?
We are On The Go Insurance. So the website is otg-insurance.com.
Okay. And
if I drop that in the chat, will they be able to see it?
Yes, they should be able to. And if you want to go ahead and drop your phone number in there again, Hunter, that would be great.
Not quite set up right. It says connect your YouTube account to join the live chat. I don't have my stuff. Let's see if I can do it right quick. No, it's not simple.
Oh, I think, guess maybe I don't know if being a subscriber helps or not.
I'll hop on. Once you upload it to YouTube, I'll go on there and find it, and I'll put it in the comments.
Okay, yeah, actually, we're live on YouTube right now. Uh, so I guess the other question I have to ask is, what is the oldest truck you've ever insured?
Not old. I mean, I don't really know. I mean, they all seem like they're in the late '90s to 2000s. Probably nothing older than the '90s.
I just kind of curious. I seen an old '50s Kenworth out one day. It was still out in service. The guy was using it to pull freight. I can only imagine what the insurance would be on
To be
something like
honest,
that.
yeah, I'm sure a truck that old would have to go on a specialty like maybe a Lloyd's policy or something.
Yeah, because I
That's
mean, it was a
more of
good
a
looking truck. The guy took care of it, but you could just tell it was a late '50s model. So, but Hunter, I
I
think,
can't see
go
somebody
ahead.
trucking across the country in an old truck like that. It can't be that comfortable.
Well, and I think he was probably using it for maybe like a 4 or 5 state area. So, but yeah, he was pulling a dry van with it.
Wow.
So he was an older gentleman. I didn't have time to talk to him. I wished I would have because I would have asked him a few questions.
You might have bought
But
it brand
anyway,
new.
you never know. You never know. He might have bought it new and figured if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But you and I both know it takes money to keep those trucks going.
Heck yeah.
I mean, I know what I spent on my last one, and that's why I've got a 23 now. I didn't want to give up my 09, but I didn't have much choice on it. It was starting to cost. It was starting to become a money pit. So
Yeah, they do that. You either got to sink the money in and kind of get over the hump or just let it go.
yeah, that's about it. So, but Hunter, I want to thank you for coming on tonight. I'll make sure you have a link to this one, and I really do appreciate you.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me.
Not a problem. So we're gonna cut this one a little short tonight. We got a special November 19th. Brad Kohler running for governor of Minnesota will be on board. He's going to come on and he's going to talk about how he can improve Minnesota by being governor. And then Thursday night, we'll be back on regular schedule. Superior Truck Parking will be on. They've opened up a new place down around Calhoun, Georgia, and they've got a few amenities down there for drivers. It's strictly truck parking, but they do have a few more amenities to offer than what some of these other places do. So, but with that being said, Hunter, thank you again for coming on. I appreciate it. And this is the Truckers Channel.